We'll read Luke chapter 13, verses 31 to 35. At that very hour, some Pharisees came and said to him, that's Jesus, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." And he said to them, "Go and tell that fox, behold, I cast out demons and perform cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I finish my course. Nevertheless, I must go on my way today and tomorrow and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet should perish away from Jerusalem. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often would I have gathered your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you are not willing. Behold, your house is forsaken. And I tell you, you will not see me until you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" The Lord Jesus was visiting towns and villages on his way to Jerusalem. He told his disciples many times that he'd be rejected and killed. Now, Jerusalem was the capital city of Israel, and several times we read in the Old Testament that God had specially chosen that city. "In Jerusalem will I put my name," he said. But Jerusalem would be the place where Jesus would die. King Herod had been given part of Israel to rule. That included the Galilee area where Jesus was brought up and had spent most of his time. Now, Herod had killed John the Baptist, and when he heard about Jesus, he was puzzled. Was Jesus John raised to life? He rather thought he might be. Some Pharisees came to tell Jesus that Herod wanted to kill him. They told Jesus to flee. They pretended that they cared for him, but as we've already seen, as a group, they hated Jesus and they wanted him killed. I'm sure that if Herod really intended to kill Jesus, these Pharisees would have kept quiet. We know that it was their practice to try to find ways to discredit Jesus. And this seems to have been one of these ways, a clever one. If he were to run away, then they could tell the people that he was scared of Herod. And certainly that wouldn't impress the ordinary people. We know that Herod wanted to see Jesus. Luke tells us that later on. But that was because he wanted to see a miracle, not to kill him. But Jesus does tell these Pharisees to give a message to Herod. He called Herod a fox. Now, the Lord Jesus, in speaking of the city of Jerusalem, in that he pictures himself as a hen, wanting to get her chicks together under her wing to protect them. He cared for Jerusalem. And not just for Jerusalem, but for the whole nation, all its people. But tragically, they rejected his protection and care. And in this picture given by the Lord Jesus, Herod was a fox. He scattered and destroyed the chicks. The Lord Jesus told these Pharisees that he'd continue his work of healing people and freeing them from demons, and then finish his course. He would complete the work he came to do. We don't know whether they did actually tell Herod what Jesus said. Well, Jesus would get to Jerusalem, outside of Herod's domain, and he would die there. But though it was the place where God had put his name, it was also the place where many of God's prophets had been killed. A terrible fate awaited Jerusalem. The Lord Jesus would have loved to have saved Jerusalem from this. But the people of the city weren't willing. They did not want their Messiah. They did not want Jesus as their king. But many, many years later, when Jesus will return at his second coming, a different generation of people in Jerusalem will say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." He will be recognized as God's anointed one, as God's Messiah, and he will rule. Now, here's something for us to think about. Although the Lord Jesus was rejected then, and is generally rejected now, he will come back and reign as king of all.